And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Mile gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack.
Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Kansas Speedway, the 1.5 mile oval that fits right in the wheelhouse of Jeff Wright, who's dominated the season thus far for Saturday Night Racing League. Will we find a different name in victory lane this week with Chuck Sweeting on the top for this week's practice so far? Or will it be another race of Jeff Wright pulling away from the field? All those questions will be answered tonight, live on V Speed. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside me here later tonight will be Connor Horn. We have a very special presentation here tonight to start off the broadcast. We have 2 very special people here with us tonight, and that would be Lon and Reese Davis from Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes. And we've talked a little bit about the different things going on with the league and iRacing, but what's most important is the cause that we believe in, you guys have founded, and you push so hard to make everyone happy along the way. So let's bring you up here right now. Lon, Reese, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you from the bottom of our hearts to bring happiness to children like that.
Not a problem. Thank you.
So you both found this company, and we were talking a little bit in pre-race about how it just came about. Talk a little bit about how it just life out of nowhere.
Reese, my son, when he was 3 years old, he got his first wheelchair, and he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween. And so I decided to just turn his wheelchair into Wall-E. And so I built it out of an old Dell computer box and built the whole costume. And as we started sharing pictures on social media, we started getting requests from other people about, people we didn't know that wanted to have us build costumes for their kid. And at first we didn't think that was really possible or anything. And the next year I built another costume for Reese, and the next year another one, and the same things kept happening. And so finally, when Reese turned 10 in 2015, we decided to start building them for other families. And we started the nonprofit organization of Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes. And we do this through a combination of
Hey, look at that. Hey, I happens to me too.
Sorry. We do it through a combination of volunteers who are willing to help build the costumes, and then donations and sponsorships to help cover the cost of the costumes so that they remain free for all the families that we build them for. We've built about 150 costumes for kids everywhere from Florida to Hawaii, and it's all through the volunteers and the donations.
That is just incredible to me, and to get the word out, and as fast as it expanded. You guys have been at this, you said 8 years, and
Right.
within the first 3 years, you were making 20 plus costumes, I do believe.
Yeah. In 2019, I believe we made 36 costumes that year.
That's incredible.
31 of them were built between August and October of that year.
That is just insane to me. I don't know that I've ever been committed to anything that much. It's mind-boggling to me how committed you can be to something like that, and it's completely out of the kindness of your heart, and
Right.
it's to people that you'll see one time in your life, but it's to bring that happiness and that joy, to see the look on a child's face when they have something that just makes them feel included that they might not otherwise have. So
Exactly.
kudos to you guys. And
Thank you.
Reese, we touched on a little bit. You had some pretty badass costumes back in the day, and I say that lightly because I'm not supposed to swear on here, but they are badass. They really are.
Thank you.
Now,
Yeah.
you guys putting your effort together, how big is the team now after all these years? You start out just you two. How big
Right.
is Walking and Rolling now?
We have about 150 volunteers who have signed up throughout the nation, but then we have also partnered up with middle schools, high schools, and colleges to have them build them as part of their STEM program. And so they do it as class projects. And so we pair them up with kids in their area so that the child in the wheelchair comes into the classroom. The students do all of the measurements and photos and get to know the family, get to know the child, and then they no longer think of it as just as a school project. It's now become personal, and it's a project that they want to build something for this child. And so they put more effort into it. They start coming in evenings and weekends in order to finish the costume in time, and it really becomes an emotional experience for them as well. And we've now even started we started our first chapter in Wichita, Kansas, at WSU. So they now have a chapter there that helps build costumes for kids in that area as well.
That's just really interesting networking, and like you said, to make it more personable. And you're also raising the awareness to some kids. And I know how I was in high school. I wasn't paying any attention to my surroundings or people around me. And it kind of helps create selfless individuals that care about their community. So that is also an interesting way of doing things that in turn passes on that legacy of how you guys want the world to operate. And I agree with that 100%. That is an amazing cause.
Thank you.
And for anybody out there that wants to get involved, maybe with donations or has an interest, maybe personally, that would like a costume made, where can they find you guys?
Find us at our website. It's walkinrollin.org, and that's WALKINROLLIN.org. And you can go on there. You can apply for a costume. You can sign up as a volunteer. You can have your company sign up as a sponsor or to build the costumes as a team building experience. And then you can also see what events we have coming up. And if you want to come to one of our workshops where we build multiple costumes in a weekend, or you can come to our reveal party in October where we're going to reveal multiple costumes to kids live on stage in front of an audience.
I tell you what, the Ant-Man costume, I said it once on stream, I'll say it again. Best design ever. I just, it blew my mind. I personally want to be Ant-Man. That is just cool.
I think that's his favorite.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
He-
100%.
He's our Ant-Man, so he does all three of the Ant-Man costumes we've built have been Reese.
That is awesome. The conception all the way down to the execution, perfectly done. Guys, I appreciate your time. We're gonna go wrap up qualifying here in about 40 seconds, but it's very interesting to hear from you guys. This is probably the most professional thing that I'll ever do, is meeting you guys. So I
Thank you.
appreciate your time, and thank you very much for being here with us on
Before we
V-Speed.
go, we did have a question. This Jeff Wright guy, I hear he's won like 4 out of the last 6.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's interesting, isn't it?
For steroids.
He needs to be tested for what now?
Yeah.
Steroids.
Steroids. Yeah, I agree. There's something, maybe even post-race inspection. I think
That's
we need to
right.
take this guy trackside. Something's not right about this car.
Something-
Guys, again, thank you for playing along, and I appreciate your time. Enjoy the race, enjoy the broadcast, and we'll see you another time. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having us.
That was Lon and Reese Davis, founders of the Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes. We thank them for their time here on V-Speed, and I appreciate all the things that are done there. I hope you guys appreciate it too. Let's take you gridding, and I've got Connor Horn up here in the booth. Connor, I started a little bit early. I know the memo. I had to send it. I sent it a little too hard, bud. A little too hard, but here we are. Connor, you with me? We're getting ready to grid, my guy.
Yeah, I'm ready to grid, man. I am ready for this race. I'm excited for Kansas. This is a fun track for the Gen 4s because of how much the groove can really widen out. We're going to see drivers on the top, but you're going to see the bottom come in later on old tires.
I'm excited as well. The multi-groove racing that we all know and love. Alex Bell going to start up there on the pole with a 30.572. Seth Hatchell to his outside. And it's a tight one. Less than 0.02 of a second separating these two drivers. Next row is going to belong to Adam Cabot with Chad Klinger in the 09. Last week we saw Chad leading the race for the vast majority at Martinsville. AJ Servato came out with the win. We all know who that went. We have official results for that race, but it'd probably take all night to figure it all out. Next row is going to belong to Jonathan Cofield with Chuck Sweeting in the 6th spot. 7th position will be Jeff Wright, the fan favorite, tested for steroids. I don't know if you heard that pre-race interview or not, but Lon and Reese were questioning the integrity of the 48 team, and they think DD tested for steroids.
I can't blame you guys for testing him. Can't blame him at all. He's got, what, 4 or 5 wins? It seems surprising that he didn't get popped, to be honest.
Yeah, so we got to ask these questions. They're going to run in an additional pace lap for tonight. We've got Eric Hutton and Michael Sturgill rounding out your top 10.
Going to get outside the top 10. Still a fast group tonight. Get to 11th, PJ O'Leary, who I don't remember seeing last week, but he's back in the 20, the silver and orange number 20. Roy Massey right there, very fast at Martinsville, but I don't believe he got a great finish out of it. 13th place, one that was most definitely fast at Martinsville. Joseph McWhorter taken out in the late race festivities in the wild race we had at Martinsville. As he's getting an
EOL, yeah.
Yes, unclaimed caution last week, which is, I believe, the dust up with Michael Sturgill. I'm going to assume that's what that would be for. Who was going to be starting alongside Joseph McWhorter was going to be the 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin, starting 14th. Steve McDonald had a rough one at Martinsville, starting 15th position. Max Cost, same thing, starting 16th. AJ Stravato, last week's winner, through a lot of controversy, and I'm sure he's got a driver looking out for him if that 33 gets to the front. He's starting in the 17th position, way in the back. Lucas Lyons, new name from my recollection in the Impala there, number 52, starting 18th, and rounding out the top 20, and rounding out the drivers who put a time down, Noah Mikowski in the 03, and Tim Downey in the 25.
The first spot will belong to Caleb Weekly with Brian Fletcher in 22nd. 23rd will be Clifton Cockrell with Mark McFadden. And then rounding out your 25-car field will be Brandon Wallace in the 99. Excited to get it underway. Alex Bell, first pole of the season here. I got to ask you, I ask you every week, and we're never right, but we try. Who's your pick for tonight's race?
I'm going to go Adam Cabot. I think he's going to be hard to beat. He literally goes part-time, and he does this for one reason only. He only does it to win, and win races when he shows up, so I think he's going to do it tonight.
That's a good pick, and I agree. He shows up to win. I'm going to go with the 75 of Chuck Sweeting, and I'll tell you why. Practice was just really perfect for him. He put it down out there. Consistent laps for the 75 team. I'm going with that, but nonetheless, Alex Bell getting ready to lead him off here at Kansas Speedway. Saturday Night Racing League is underway. We're racing green.
Oh, we already got a crash. Chuck Sweeting got spun. And big crash, going to take out a number of drivers.
75 into the outside wall, into turn 1. And just like that, my pick might be out of the race. And yeah, he's going to tow. That is incredible. I'm going to stop picking drivers. I think I'm giving the commentator's curse here.
Yeah, that clearly a curse. That was a really weird one. As took Nick Starling's got big damage out of it.
And Starling got pinned up on the outside wall there, and it looked like another car clipped Sweeting as it went by. See if we can get a better angle. This is on the start. Just a little contact there with Starling and Sweeting, and who was that hit him on the inside? It looked like Stravato got a piece of that as well.
Could have been Stravato, could have been Lucas Lyons as well. Don't know which one nailed him. 33 looks okay. That was a weird one. That almost looked like maybe a missed shift or something, because 75 just got pile driven.
That is unfortunate for these drivers. We didn't even get into turn one, and they're already got 4 cars that are probably totaled for the rest of the race.
Definitely at least one. 75 of Sweeting. Not only has he got damage, he blew the engine immediately from what I heard on replay. So definitely a missed shift. It is tough to get through the gears fast sometimes, and that was definitely a mistake there. He's got, and like you said, there's 2 or 3 others that are going to have to nurse that damage around until they can fully repair it.
So Alex Bell's going to lead some laps, and he starts up here on the pole. It's a quick turnaround here. We've seen the 15 up towards the front several times this season, but never starting on the pole, I do believe. So what is in store here for the 15? He's got your points leader, Jeff Wright, back there. Your pick, Adam Cabot, who's always fast every week. Chad Klinger, who kind of still has that taste in his mouth from last week. There's a lot of hungry people here for the 15 to hold off.
This is going to be a race, though, for Bell, where track position is a good thing to have here because, yeah, the groove is going to widen out, but that main line is still going to be the top lane, and he's been able to run it well. It got him to the pole position, and going to that bottom line is going to be tough to do to complete a pass because if you don't complete a pass on that bottom line, you're in trouble to get past from someone right behind you, and you could go backwards 3, 4, maybe even more positions. So if Bell just keeps nice and tight to that top line, he can keep the lead for a while, but you know how close these drivers are going to get to that outside wall, and it could spell trouble.
We talked about the 84 of Seth Hatchell, who started just outside the pole. The king of beer machine, 84, he's winless this season as well. And we looked at it in Infineon, our only road course that we ran this season, how some of these guys just flip-flop the field. I think that we're going to have a breakout driver here tonight. I know that the 17's in this hunt. And that's why I went with Chuck Sweeting. I know that these guys love Kansas. A lot of people practice here. I think we're going to see a first-time winner here tonight. Guys have been putting in time. They're tired of watching that 48 win.
Yeah, a lot of people are tired of watching that 48 win, especially in dominating fashion. His wins have not really been close in any sort of way. Dominated Sonoma, didn't really dominate Vegas, but he was at the front of Vegas. Did dominate Auto Club. Did dominate a fully green race at Texas. Literally, the only hiccup in his season are the short tracks and the super speedways. So, got to figure it might be a different story once we get to New Hampshire as Lucas Lyons becomes our first official retiree from the race. But yeah, that 48's really dominant on tracks like this. Like I said, dominated Texas. So, didn't qualify well, but this is a big chance to try to get track position over the 48 early.
We're going to try it again here. Alex Bell's going to hit the loud pedal into turn 1. Green flag and racing again at Kansas Saturday Night Racing League. I hope it goes. And officially to lead a lap under speed, it's a 15. But Bell is already under fire. Your pick right up on his bumper coming out of turn 4. He's down to the inside now in 1.
Using the tires up on the bottom lane, squashing up almost all the way into the left side of the 15, trying to side draft him into the corner to get an advantage, but Alex Bell not giving him much room, gives him a lot into 3 to 17, sends it on the bottom, trying to slide up in front of Bell out of the corner. He's going to be able to do that. He'll lead the second lap under green flag conditions, but here comes the crossover.
Really close there at the line. 100th of a second, and the 15 takes the lead back. The 84 sitting back quietly watching all this with Jeff Wright on his bumper, and 3 wide just behind him.
3 wide, Hutton scrapes the wall as Chad Klinger and Cofield doored there. I think Klinger just was trying to give room to the 88 and couldn't do it without dooring. 3 wide with Downey, Mikowski, and McWhorter as that battle for the lead still under fire from the 15 as Adam Cabot gets to run off a turn 4.
Cabot really smart to take that high line on the exit and hold off the 15. These guys still haven't settled it down. Jeff Wright now trying to take over the 3rd position from the 84. He's down to the bottom. 84 is going to get a good run off of 2. Looks like he's going to hold it up there on the outside. A little tag with the wall. These Gen 4 cars are not so bad about, you can scrape the wall with the right rear, but you get that nose messed up, and it's all but over.
Yeah, got to be really careful of that. You're going to be hanging the right rear out all night long from the beginning to the end on short runs and long runs. So you can scrape it a little bit out of the corner, but I wouldn't want to be scraping it in the middle or even on entry to the corner because you're not going to save the right front doing that. So got to be careful of that, Hatchels. Careful of that big slide job there. Wow, barely got in front of the 48. Wright dove to the bottom to avoid.
Wright had such a head of steam coming down that back straightaway. Look at him past the 84. That was incredible, that move right there. I just didn't foresee that much of a speed difference, but Wright, he knows what he's doing. That's the reason that he's 4-time winner in this league. It's mesmerizing me. I guess I'm a fanboy here.
Yeah, definitely, recognizable dominant paint schemes. Got to have a recognizable dominant driver, and he fits the bill very easily as he's already up in the 2nd from 7th, just completing lap 10. Hatchell not going away, still right on the 48's bumper, but the 17 is fully away, up to about a 8/10 of a second lead in the turn number 1. Is there 2x2 second on that?
Hutton's still up there on the outside. He's currently in the 6th position, and that little tag with the wall, it looks like it's going to get tight again, right behind Klinger. I do not have my stream up, but I'm sure you're doing fine.
Oh, I can watch everything. I'm watching 2x2 all over the damn place. It is wild at the front right now. And that's really because, wow, Hutton really close to the wall. That's because the tires are new right now. So everyone in the top 10 is trying to use what they got right now. Track position is going to be important once we wear these tires out. So they want that. They want the advantage now. And some drivers like Jeff Wright are getting it. The others like Alex Bell are going backwards.
Back here in the 14th and 15th position, we've got 73 of Joseph McWhorter, who got the EOL to start this race. I know it says 13th where he started, but technically he was all the way back in 25th position, has worked his way up to 13th. That is impressive for 12 laps.
Yeah, doing a good job. Also got through all the chaos on lap 1 as well. So, yeah, statistically, iRacing's going to say he hasn't gone anywhere, but he has gone through half the field, and he's done it with a clean race car right now. Also leading AJ Stravato through there, as well as they're a little bit off this lead pack, but they'll get there in no time the way they're racing. Wright is clear, but the battle's for 3rd now. Seth Hatchell on the top, Hutton's there, Chad Klinger and Sturgill. Bell's still charging on the bottom. These guys are all over each other.
Sturgill on the outside for the 6th spot. Bell starts on the pole, falls back to 7th here if the 90 can clear him. What do you think? The 15, maybe just short run speed, or is he saving tires? What's going on here for the 15 team right now?
Maybe just doesn't have the short run speed, and maybe is trying to save tire for the long run. We kind of saw last week he qualified 2nd to Chad Klinger and then just never got back to that position after falling out of it in the first few laps. So maybe we'll see another scenario like that where he's got good Q pace, but the race pace is just not quite there. That's what it's looking like right now. He's all the way back to 7th. Jonathan Cofield's next in line to take a shot at the 15.
Down the back straightaway. It's the 17 of Adam Cabot, the 48 of Jeff Wright, and the 88 of Eric Hutton. Even with tagging that wall, he's getting up there.
he's still so close to it as well. He's probably the highest up there as he's making it work. He really didn't hit it that hard, so not going to make much of a difference for him as Klinger clears Sturgill back, as now it's Sturgill trying to stay in front of Cofield and Alex Bell and all those guys.
Highline's starting to come into fruition, and we talk about riding the wall, the cushion. Oh, the 84 of Hatchell. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. He gets pinned up against that wall. You were talking about the hanging the right rear out. Sometimes you hang it out there too far, and it pulls the nose up into it as well.
Yeah, and that loses him 7 positions. It's like glue up there once you get the entire right side. Oh, we got a car in the grass way in the back. Trying to see who that was. That's Noah Mikowski, 03 car joyriding. He's able to save it as the battle for the lead has heated up and gone away. Jeff Wright, all of a sudden, to the lead as the crossover comes about. That's I had that issue earlier today. That's pretty funny, but yeah, Cabot's got, I don't know what happened to Cabot, but he all of a sudden lost so much time last time by. Now he's in a heated battle where he could go very backwards as Wright's going to go to the race lead. As smoke detectors, got to make sure they work, and that's what he's doing right now. But Jeff Wright's gone to the race lead, and now look at everyone up here on the top line. Only Cofield on the bottom trying to battle Alex Bell, but everyone else is running that top line to make speed right now, and oh, what a surprise, Jeff Wright to the race lead. You see everyone on that top line. Ooh, Cabot way too high again, almost into it once again. Those tires already fading potentially, only on lap 18 of this run. 48's gonna really clear him here, as still got about the top 7 or 8 under a blanket right now. After that, it's really spaced out. Stravato's up to 10th from 17th. 73 McWhorter's fallen back. He might have gotten into a wall himself in that skirmish with Mikowski, but the battle for the lead not quite done yet, as Adam Cabot diving back to the bottom.
All right, so I'm back, and I don't know if anybody heard that in the broadcast, and I apologize. We must have had a ghost in the house. I don't know. There's no fire, so to clear anyone's thoughts, there is no fire. But we saw a challenge for the lead there briefly, and it looked like some 3 wide between the 88 of Hutton, the 48 of Jeff Wright, and Adam Cabot, who's trying to fight back for this lead. He went all the way back as far as AJ Stravato, who's cracked the top 10. This racing up front, man, it is intense.
Shows how on edge you are even when no one's around you. I mean, Cabot was all on his own, but he was still running the very top, and he brushed the wall in 3 and 4, but didn't stick to it like we've seen
Hatchell,
drivers
yeah.
do, like Hatchell did. I don't know how he didn't get stuck to it, because he had the right side on it, as he's going to get so close.
Really tight.
Wow, they almost doored right there, as this is going to bring Hutton into it. This is heated right now.
Little bit of offset there in the camber for the 17. He straightened it right out, though, and he's able to reclaim the lead. That little tag with the wall didn't affect that 17, but man, it was close there across the line. The 48's going to lead that time by, and these guys are fighting hard. I love it.
Oh, Hutton in the wall, Klinger in the wall, Hutton sliding, able to save it, but that's going to put everyone third on back at a disadvantage after having to avoid the 88 as Sturgill goes to the bottom. Cofield, Alex Bell picked up all those spots right back as well.
Bell back up into the top 3. Jonathan Cofield in the 90 of Michael Sturgill side by side. Actually, the 88 of Eric Hutton. This battle has just happened so quickly. This car was made for this track. If you don't believe me, watch the action that you're seeing right before your eyes.
Imagine if that was the finish. Adam Cabot led that lap by 1/1000th of a second, so that's just maybe a preview of what we might see later, as these two are still going side by side for the lead as third on back, kind of try to single file out, almost like you would at a plate race, trying to get back to the leaders, as these two are going to battle hard.
Down on the inside now for Adam Cabot. He's going to try to fight down on the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Jeff Wright's going to lead this time by 0.07 of a second. Just a nose hair to get ahead of the 17. Alex Bell, who's fallen back just a little bit, 0.5 of a second. He has Jonathan Cofield. It's just crazy to me how these guys are leaning on each other tonight.
They're all over one another. Finally, Cabot has to give way, but now Wright's going to go to the bottom, give Cabot the top lane to get the runoff of turn 4. Kind of surprised by that, as Nick Starling retires from the race due to lap 1 damage, but look at the run the 17's going to get. He might not get a legit shot at the 48, though, I think Jeff Wright's going to start flexing his long run muscle here, as the 15 really closed up on those two that time.
When you say the... I love it. All right, so the 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin cracking the top 10. He's got AJ Stravado right in front of him. Ray Massey in the 23. We just talked to two very interesting individuals pre-race. That was Lon and Reese Davis, and they sponsor the 23 team with the Rockin' and Rollin' costumes. So a quick reminder on that. Rockin' and Rollin.org, I believe, is the correct term. It's down there at the bottom of your screen. You just scroll through and then go check that out. Great cause, great people. Outside of that, V-Speed bringing you Saturday Night Racing League all season long. If you're not subscribed to the channel, we have the 88 haircut in the wall.
It's the second time, really it's the third time the 88's been in the wall. Got to be careful of doing that too much. Still no visual damage, but you're not going to get away with it that much longer, and he's fallen back big time because of it. That's the action you subscribed for.
Oh, for sure. You got to hit the subscribe button. That's what I was trying to get at before the action ensued, like it has the entire race, side by side down the backstretch. This is for the 8th position. 7th, Ray Massey will be the next victim for AJ Stravado as he works his way up through this field. Biggest gainer of the race so far. He started in 17th. He's up there in the top 10.
Yeah, we were talking about how McWhorter was leading him through. Like before your alarm went off, McWhorter had some sort of fallback. I noted Mikowski in the grass. He didn't crash, but maybe McWhorter lost positions because of that. But he is back up to 14th. Tim Downey's scraping the wall, but he keeps it up there. But talking about Stravado, who's got to keep picking these guys off, already up to 8th. Then it's Ray Massey. Then it's Michael Sturgill. Then, it's just Chad Klinger up the road a little bit further. So I'd really watch when these two get together. You never know what could happen.
They're going to meet in the middle, I can tell you that. 09 and Klinger, he's kind of falling back a little bit. Serrato's on his way up.
Oh, Cabot's in the wall. Sorry to cut you off. He tapped the wall. These two are still battling for the lead. Cabot got it back. Now he tapped the wall in the middle of 1 and 2, and the 48's back in front.
Now going to peek down to the inside in 3 and 4. It is crazy to me how this car keeps tagging that wall and it's still able to keep on ticking, and these lap times have not fallen off too much. I mean, 2 seconds, 30 laps, pretty impressive.
It's honestly better than I thought it would be, but I think that's really the key thing about that is how the track is completely in the nighttime now. It's really a cool track. It's not like we saw at Texas or Vegas where the track's really heated up. We've got a cool track, which makes for some hot racing. As you're seeing it right now, it is wild as the 48 back down to the bottom. Would rather run the bottom in 3 and 4, but he keeps going to the top in 1 and 2.
Alex Bell back up in this hunt. We thought he was saving tires. We have confirmed it now. He is racing for 2nd position to take over from Adam Cabot. Maybe he has something for Jeff Wright. Get him the old-fashioned way. We've had one caution here tonight, and it's been right on lap 1. Outside of that, what can you tell us about the talent, the raw and pure talent these guys are displaying right now?
That's absolutely wild. Everyone's hanging the right rear out all the way from 1st down to Mark McFadden in 21st. It's been absolutely wild. Everyone's on edge grip-wise, but also they're not really holding back at all. They're really giving it everything they've got to the very end of their fuel run. Speaking of run, we might be close to pit stops. I know Noah Mikowski and Tim Downey just came down. So the guys 19th, 20th, and 21st come down, trying to make up some track position. See if that brings anyone else in. But these leaders, the aggression level has been on the highest setting since the green flag dropped the 2nd time.
In the multi-groove racing, that's what's interesting to see. Remember Kansas a couple years ago, there was really only one groove around this track, and it was the outside. If you couldn't hang the wall and drive it like Dover, you weren't going to do well. Now these guys diving it to the bottom, it's almost sacrilege to me to see the bottom groove run as good as it's doing tonight.
Yeah, it's not just guys at the back running it. The leader is running away from Adam Cabot because he's running the bottom right now. And Alex Bell's been doing it as well, but we still saw a lot of people running the bottom earlier, but we're also seeing him run it now. So it's not just a short run, long run thing. The bottom lane is a serious threat to run away with this race if you're the leader.
He hasn't ran away yet. Now Cabot's starting to try his luck on the low line in 1 and 2. He's right up to the tail. He shaves off another 1/10 of a second as they go into 3 and 4. It's the exact opposite lines for these two. And I think Cabot playing that to his advantage. He sees the air is going to hit the nose. He's going to try to run the exact opposite of Jeff Wright.
Oh, Cofield in the wall out of 4. I was going to note some pit stops. Cofield slammed it out of turn 4, but meanwhile, he keeps it straight, and everyone else pitting keeps it straight. Klinger, Sturgill, number of drivers, and Butcher Benjamin, O'Leary, McWhorter as well. Now this will probably bring the leaders in.
Jeff Wright all the way on the other side of the track right now. The 09 of Chad Klinger led him down pit road. Here come the rest. You've got Cabot, Bell. Looks like Cofield, Massey, Hutton. They're going to follow suit here on the second round.
Also Caleb Weekly. Whoa, Clifton Cockrell's way too deep. Not going to make the cone there. And that will be a penalty almost definitely. McDonald behind him made it, though. As Travado is one of the few that stayed out.
Travado electing to stay out, get a lap led. He's going to come down pit road. He has the 84 Seth Hatchell, who had that early race problem. Now bringing it down pit road.
Looking at the race off pit road, 17 and 48, dead even on pit exit as here comes some more drivers. You can see the drivers exit pit road. Cabot jumps the 48 on pit exit. That was a huge swing.
It's a big move to try to pass a guy off of pit road.
Racing off of pit road, I love it.
This is how tight this battle has been since the green flag dropped. These guys aren't even giving up on pit road.
No reason to. I mean, Cabot did such a great job on entry. He really didn't gain that much on entry, to be completely honest, but sometimes the RNG can really help a guy out. And also, number 1 pit, really the number 3 pit stall helped him out there because he was able to not have to really wait to go down to 45 miles an hour pit speed, and he was really able to launch out of his box. 48 wasn't able to do that. That was the difference.
So Cabot, your leader, 2/10 of a second separate him and the 48 of Jeff Wright. Alex Bell, who fell off a little bit, 2.6 seconds back. This race goes green. Bell's going to have his work cut out for him. He was starting to show some speed towards the end of that run with the tire saving, but he can't really afford to save this time around.
Yeah, looks like trying to note who got penalties. I know Clifton Cockrell definitely did. Looks like Joseph McWhorter did as well. And also the 09 of Chad Klinger is a lap down. So 2 guys who were really fast with penalties. Really 3 guys who had some good speed with penalties.
Now these 3 praying for a caution that may never come. The track very spread out. We have a 8-second spread all the way back. 27 seconds to Joseph McWhorter.
2 to go. Is anybody to try to maybe make a third line?
Won't help with the.
This race still.
No,
We got
help.
smoke alarms going off. We've got beer being spilled on the keyboard. It's just a great night.
Drivers missing
Professional level
shifts. Drivers missing shifts on the first lap before they get to the corner. As the battle of the lead still rages on, these guys are as professional as it gets. This is great stuff from these two. As Wright didn't lead that lap, so unofficially he goes back to the lead on that bottom line. But you'll see the run the 17 gets crossover move in full effect tonight. Down to the bottom, but you can see it 3 and 4. It doesn't look like the bottom line is as effective in 3 and 4 as they almost touch there. As Cabot will lead another lap. The 48 technically never led. I love that stat as they get so close entering and exiting the corners. This is great stuff.
I'm waiting for the Windows pop-up to say sticky keys on the desktop because I'm going to have them. I have never done that. In my history here at V-Speed, I've always been able to keep my composure and keep my beverages out of my keyboard. Here we are. There's a first time for everything.
As long as it doesn't ruin the show, we're all good. Can't ruin this show right now. These guys are dead even. Finally, Jeff Wright officially gets the lead at the line, but this battle is far from done, and they're actually gapping Alex Bell while battling. He is not gaining while these two are side by side. He has lost time.
They said we want him tested for steroids. I heard Ron and Reese say that. And I think Cabot's going to be added to that list. 14 laps led for Jeff Wright, and I believe it was 17, 14. I can't remember. 20. Not even close for Adam Cabot. These guys trading back and forth this entire time, lap after lap.
Look at the side draft. Both of them are trying to side draft one another down these straightaways and even through the tri-oval. They're really respecting each other's boundaries while also getting as close to one another as they can without hitting each other. As at 17, looks like he's finally starting to lose some ground in this battle. You can see he's a little behind the 48. Tries to throttle up on the center, using all the tire he can, and does get a good run through 3 and 4 that time to almost lead another lap.
So back through your field a little ways. Michael Sturgill has settled out in that 4th position. No one really around him to challenge. Jonathan Cofield is 0.5 of a second back. And the 58 has a little bit of right front damage.
In the wall when a lot of people were pitting, but it hasn't hurt him yet as they still go side by side for the lead. Has damage, but still been able to maintain top 5 as he has not been chased down by Taylor Butcher Benjamin quite as quickly as I thought he'd be.
It almost takes a wide-angle camera to get both these guys in the frame because they're running such different lines. All the way to the bottom for Jeff Wright in 1 and 2, all the way to the outside for the 17 of Cabot. And I would have to say that this hasn't subsided and it won't subside until we find our winner. And Cabot's here to win, like you said. Good pick.
It's what he comes here for, and he's trying to do it this time. But once again, these guys are battling and pulling away from everyone else. So that's just impressive as it gets. As Jeff Wright, now he's the guy on the inside trying to fight down there. But Cabot, I think he wanted that. He pulled the slide job on Jeff Wright and was able to get positioning on his outside, then pinched him hard down into turn 3 last time by. So definitely a strategy move by Cabot to get positioning on that top line, as almost everyone's been running the top line. But AJ Stravado, who has the freshest tires, just did get the 7th running that bottom line as Cabot once again clears the 48.
Speaking of Adams, big shout out to our guy, Adam Baker. That guy's getting married.
Yeehaw.
And I tell you what, congratulations to him. If you ever wondered what it takes to get this production out to the masses, to get everything working properly, one, it takes a great team, and the leader of this group, Adam Baker, congratulations. We hope to hear from you soon, though. And, blink twice if you're in trouble. I'm sure he's blinking once. He's a good guy, and we appreciate everything he does. He's made these awesome graphics. He's helped with the networking, introduced us to many, many people that, I've probably forgotten more names than I ever knew in my life with all the individuals that Adam knows, and he remembers them all on a first name, last name basis. It's incredible. I forget my name sometimes. For him to be able to network like that, just awesome job. And Alec Martinez, another great guy that's been with us from the start. Connor, welcome to the team, by the way.
Yeah,
we just Eddie Smith putting on B-Speed too. B-Speed's looking up, and we owe it all to these leagues that we broadcast. Saturday Night Racing League, BTDY, the list goes on and on. Excellent group of people. So, from the bottom of our heart, and also hit the subscribe button. Did I mention that yet?
You can mention it again.
Hey, shameless plug. Jonathan Cofield, side by side with the 90 of Michael Sturgill, and Cofield's damage doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. He's racing for the 4th position right now.
Yeah, he is faster than the 90 the last few laps and has chased him down, so he's looking good right now, but he better get going if he wants to get by the 90, because Travado on fresher tires is getting both of them right now, and he's looking to be a challenger to get to the one of those top 3 positions, because he is looking pretty fast, and the strategy's looking like it's working.
Definitely working. If this race goes green, he hasn't made any mistakes here tonight. He is the biggest mover of the race, 11 positions up from where he started. excellent drive here for the 33 of AJ Stravada. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's been putting together some solid weeks. And I know we go through the field, we try to mix it around, but just kudos to this guy. That 10 car has been a name that we've talked about in the top 10 every week since this league started.
Kind of sneaks his way in there in a way. Not really competing for wins quite yet, but he has been very, very consistent so far this season. That's why he's 9th in points. Only 2 top 10s to his credit. He's been running the top 10 a lot more than that. So hasn't run every race either, so that factors into it as well. Just a very consistent driver he's become.
Some other notable mentions. Ray Massey in the 9th position. Looked excellent at Bristol. Started up on the pole. Had some bad luck. And ultimately we saw the 36 who isn't here tonight. Or 35? Is 36. He has 2 different numbers in 2 different leagues.
I believe he's 35 in this one.
And then that would be Joshua Banks who got the win at Bristol. I remember the name. Unfortunately not out here on the field tonight. I see Seth Hatchell, who started outside the pole. He's fallen back to 10th, and he's kind of in recovery mode from that earlier incident when he tagged the wall and got sucked up into it.
Thankfully, no damage, as Stravado in the process of passing Sturgill right now. But for the 84, no damage really from that. But the only damage was the loss of track position. He went from about 3rd all the way back to 11th as he's gotten by PJ O'Leary. Now he's still trying to hunt down all these guys. 8 seconds behind the leaders at this point, but still only 3 seconds behind 4th place. So he could still really gain back on all those guys as we look at O'Leary, who's kind of fallen back himself, back to his starting position of 11th.
He's got a while before Caleb Weekly gets to him. 5 seconds, 5.5. Such a spread here between 11th and 12th. Green flag pit stops sometimes do that. They'll spread the field out so much that you're in another time zone. It can be raining where you are on the track compared to the guys coming across the start-finish line and the sun's out. That's how far these guys have spread apart.
Yeah, as you
maybe
said.
Maybe an exaggeration.
Well, I think if we were at Pocono, it could be raining a lot on the track. But mile and a half Kansas, who knows? But like you said, that the gap is big, about 6 seconds from O'Leary to Weekly, and Weekly wasn't on his own earlier, but he has pulled away from Noah Mikowski, who's recovering from his joyride through the grass. But he is back up to 13th as lap car, Joseph McWhorter lap down, not for position, getting by the 0-3. Really spread out after you get past the top 11. Everyone else kind of running their own race.
I officially have all the beer cleaned up out of the keyboard. It is fully functional yet again. We are able to push buttons and not break the stream. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this broadcast. We're going to take a quick side-by-side and go green flag here on V-Speed. Saturday Night Racing League live at Kansas. Your leader, Adam Cabot. He is passing a lapped car, the 71 of Mark McFadden in 17th. We'll be back right after this.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back here live, Kansas Motor Speedway, live on V-Speed for Saturday Night Racing League. Adam Cabot, your leader, 0.7 of a second ahead of Jeff Wright. These guys have kind of calmed down a little bit. We saw a lot of racing prior to this, side-by-side battles, crossovers, wall tags, momentum changes. Laps led, 39 for Adam Cabot. Laps led for Jeff Wright, 16. These guys have been fighting hard.
Yeah, they've led all but 8 laps, and it shows on the ticker. They've pulled away from everyone else. Alex Bell has reeled back in by a few tenths, but nothing to make us believe that he's going to be in this fight. These two are on another level right now, and as we say that, they were battling hard. 48 has been really the first one of these two to show any weakness. He's fallen back about 0.8 of a second at this point, starting to be in a territory where he's going to need the undercut to get that lead back.
Yeah, and Jeff starting back a little bit further. I don't know if that really interfered. He's gained 5 spots. He started in the 7th position. Do you think that maybe working through the field set him back a little bit to try to keep up with Cabot? I know they battled hard at the start of this thing, but Jeff might have had the opportunity to pull away and make that not even a thing at the start of this race.
I think he tried his hardest to pull away, but wasn't quite able to do it. But I don't think that had an effect on this run. Those two battled really hard, and it just seemed like Cabot, even through battling, was able to keep his stuff in a better condition than the 48 did. And that's showing right now as the gap is really wide to the biggest gap it has been between first and second right now. So I think Jeff Wright, he's probably going to have to undercut this run and also have to think about how he's going to save these tires and keep up with the 17 to the end of this race.
AJ Stravado cracks into the top 5. 13 positions gained now for the 33. He's on track for a podium. That confidence from Martinsville, and a controversial finish, I know, and we didn't know the final results, and there was a lot of things to unpack. But nonetheless, we knew the official winner of that race, and it was the 33. He was winless for a long time. It was good to see the 33 back in victory lane.
It was like so many things had gone wrong for him, and he finally just took matters into his own hands and just won one. Whether he had to get physical for it or not, he went out 1-1, was able to do it. Now that confidence should really carry over to these races from here on out as we get closer and closer to pit stops. Stravado was one of the late pitters. He'll stay out a little while longer. Michael Sturgill comes down this time, and he brought a few with him. Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, Seth Hatchell also in. So this is going to bring a lot more drivers down.
The 90, the 10, the 84 come down pit road a little bit earlier than the rest of the field. Sturgill's going to hit that pit box, see if he can get in there clean. He does, and the 84 just in front of him. That's probably going to set the pace here for the rest of these guys coming in. We've had 12 lead changes, 1 caution here tonight. I'm enjoying this action, though. We still don't know. This race very, very much undecided. And your pick right now leading this thing. And unfortunately, my pick, 67 laps of this race. He has been sitting behind pit wall.
Yeah, wasn't able to make it a corner after the missed shift. The engine went as Ray Massey, P.J. O'Leary also come down this time. Not the only favorite to be out of the race. Chad Klinger had that pit penalty on the first sequence, and I guess he ended up parking at 11, 12 laps down. As you can see, I'm sitting right there, the first one on pit road, as we get a few more pit stops. Jonathan Cofield pits from 5th. As
did the 09 get another penalty?
I don't believe so. It's just been sitting there for a while. I think he called it quits.
So Klinger, 12 laps down, calling it a day. This race, very spread out. And in this situation, Cabot's coming down. And I know
Whoa.
it's... Whoa, Jeff Wright really locking him up there.
That is how important track position is. He's trying to gain everything he can on the 17 wherever he can.
We're going to watch a quick instant replay. Watch him coming here sideways. Locks it up, but gets it done.
We'll see what dividends that pays on pit exit. That 17 of Cabot has a better exit. We know that. It has a smoother exit at least, as this brought in Hutton, Bell, majority of the field. As you can see, the 48 gained, but not quite enough to be side by side.
You cut it back down to a couple tenths of a second. These two going to come out of pit road. 9, about a second dividing them. 17 just doing a great job of racing it hard off of pit road.
15 doing the same thing. Looking at Bell, trying to stay ahead of Sturgill. He'll do that, so probably not going to be too much shaken up in the order. Stravato goes another extra lap or two than the leaders, so he's exiting his pit now. Should hand the lead over to Brandon Wallace, who we haven't talked about tonight.
99 on board with him right now. Started in 25th position, currently your leader. He's probably going to bring it down pit road within the next lap or two, and it sounds like he's going to bring it down this time by. He does, and drops to the bottom on the apron. Pit road here for the 99. Lap led, though.
We'll see if he gets to the line or anyone else. Cabot might take it. I think Cabot's going to take it, but either way, going an extra lap, getting fresher tires than everyone else around him, as you could just see the gap these top two have now over everyone else. They gained another 2 seconds on Alex Bell through that sequence.
And it all cycles through. Jeff Wright, Adam Cabot still within, a few car lengths of each other. Jeff is, I believe they're clutching it going into 3 and 4, so maybe a little strategy here, and these guys on the same page as they both clutch it into the corners. Halfway through your race, you know what that means, right?
I think I'm ready for it. We're not going to hear much from Cabot.
Well, we're going to turn it up as loud as we can. Try to get these engine sounds cranking. It's the Bring the Noise by Harpoon Designs. For the next few laps, we're going to get loud and proud here on V-Speed. As we brought the noise to you, a little change for the lead. Jeff Wright, he takes it over. Had a little something in the tank there. He passed Cabot like he was sitting still.
Yeah, really weird. 48 not clutching. 17 to Cabot clearly having to clutch and save fuel here. I'm not sure if maybe the auto fuel selection bit Cabot and gave him way less fuel than he needs to his next fuel stop, but it's clearly cost him a lot of track position and most importantly the lead.
Checking up there just for a second. You don't have that throttle to help stagger the rear end, keep it turning into the corner. Talk about clutching it. These guys are pushing that far left pedal to try to save fuel, and if it's a situation for the 17 that he didn't get enough, well, iRacing implemented a new system within the last year, and personally, it's lost me a lot of time. I always forget to untick that box. It's one of the new features on iRacing. I see why they implemented it. they did it for the right reasons, but did it in all the wrong ways.
Yeah, the worst part about it is that it comes on automatically. Even if you turn it off after you go for a pit stop, it turns back on. So I can only imagine it was a scenario where he checked it off for the first stop, forgot to do it for a second stop, and now he's in a scenario where he's essentially having to give up the lead to make sure he can make it on fuel with only one more stop to the end. And that is just killer because of how much of a lead he had built up over such a fast driver like Jeff Wright, how hard we saw him work to get the race lead, and now it's pretty much all for nothing if you can't save the fuel and get back to the 48. It's going to be difficult.
I just wonder if there was a meeting in the iRacing studio amongst themselves saying, we can't really change pit road and the pit crews. We can't make those variables. It's hard enough to race online. But we can make the variable of if you forget to uncheck a box, we're going to equate that to your pit crew making a mistake. Even if it's on you or self-inflicted or iRacing service, whatever the case may be, we're gonna make these variables. I guarantee that they laughed all the way to the bank on that one.
I sure hope you're not right, but I think
it feels that way when it happens to you.
Seems like the likely option. Yeah. So here we go, 3 wide action for 4th. That's gonna get tight. They did not touch there. They stayed 3 wide as AJ Travato making those tires work. He's gonna get 2 for 1 out of turn number 4.
Up to 4th position for the 33. Gets around Cofield and Sturgill right up the middle. We've seen the 33 be very aggressive when he needs to be. And tracks like Auto Club where it just didn't pan out the way he predicted, able to hold it together here on lap 81 at Kansas. The racing here has been nothing short of amazing and entertaining. I look forward to the rest of this season. We're not even at the cutoff yet, and these guys are bringing it like it's the last 2 races.
It's just been nonstop action all year long. It really has not been a race where I have not been entertained at any point. It's been absolutely wild from some of the drivers who have been here every week, and even the guys who don't show up every week, like Adam Cabot. They bring the action every time they set a tire on the track. It's been wild to watch so far.
Beacon of action, V-Speed After Dark, back up and running. If you're interested, you can check out our Discord, and I could post that, but I don't have the exact address to post. Take it away, Connor. You can get that for me, right?
To the Discord, yes. Let's get that. We are getting back up and running. Trying to find a Discord. You know, I have my Discords in like groups. Doesn't really help that much. But
no, it doesn't. Yeah, there's hundreds of them. I agree. There's got to be a better way to sort this, but yeah, check it out. I know it's another shameless plug, but V-Speed After Dark happening on Saturday nights. If you guys can make it. Actually, this is on Tuesday nights. I apologize.
Yep, we got one coming up on Tuesday night, I believe. I think we're gonna have one this week. Not quite sure because I know we got some very important esports, iRacing festivities this week. So it's gonna be a pretty crazy week, but hopefully we can get V-Speed in there, I'm sure, after dark.
And also, if you haven't, go check out V-Speed 2. Eddie Smith putting on a great show with Alec Martinez, the champion of the Truck Series on Friday nights. Lots of sim racing here on V-Speed. Jeff Wright, he's going to lead another lap, and he has pulled away 1.7 seconds as he goes around. I believe that's the 25 of Tim Downey to put him in the first car lap down if we have a caution.
Yep, that would be Downey in the lucky dog spot. It's almost starting to look similar to Texas with the 48 running away and lapping up to half the field. That's 13 drivers left on the lead lap. It's a little ways to Caleb Weekly, who is in that 13th spot. As we'll see if and when Jeff Wright gets there. As he expands that lead, as Adam Cabot has, ever since the beginning of the run, he has not stopped clutching and coasting.
And Cabot's losing a ton of time. That clutch is definitely hurting him. 2.1 seconds as they go into turn 1. Cabot's just kind of in this recovery mode. Hopefully, this next pit stop, he's able to take the fuel We can't rule out another caution, though. That could jumble these guys back up, throw all these strategies completely out the window, and I guarantee it would be a godsend to the 17 team after having a stellar start to this race, find themselves trailing to Jeff Wright. It's just a frustrating day.
Oh, I can only imagine how frustrated he is right now. We're coming close to 50 to go, but I would dare say even at this point, it's going to take a yellow for him or a mistake from the 48 to win this race. I mean, he's so far back, and we saw how hard he had to fight to get that position over the 48. Now he's going to have to do that again and make up maybe a 2, maybe even a 3-second gap in maybe 40, 50 laps. That's going to be a tall task.
Running on board with the back of the 48 of Jeff Wright, and you can see that exit right there for the 17. That's how far the gap is of 2.95 seconds, now approaching the 3-second mark. It's clutching here for the 48 now, and maybe this is a strategy. Maybe these guys are just trying to save fuel and make the one stop to finish it out. That could be a possibility.
I'd be surprised by that because they made it 35. You know, it seemed like they were hitting their number just fine the first 2 runs. And obviously the 33's been able to go a lot further than these two all night long without saving. So I am confused about it a little bit because, like you said, the 48 is starting to clutch. I kind of baffles me because I don't think you're not obviously not going to not. I just don't feel like you would need to save a fuel for the pit stop, but they clearly know something that we don't, especially the 17.
Well, and these guys are racing a lot closer together at the start in that first pit stop, and even the second one. Maybe some draft played a role in what was going on. They've traded back the lead several times tonight, but every run, they were able to draft off each other. They don't have that now, and Jeff Wright, with all that drag on the nose, that fuel is burning a lot more. Situations could change. I really don't know the fuel mileage on this car. It seemed like 35 laps, like you said, was the window.
Yeah, even Bell is clutching now. So it seemed like maybe you're right about the draft really altering the fuel window. Stavato is the latest on pit stops. He's not doing that quite yet, but these top 3, maybe all of a sudden in a scenario where they're going to have to be conservative. Wright did not clutch into turn 1, so maybe he doesn't need to save as much, but definitely kind of surprising seeing potential fuel strategy play a factor.
Stavato in the 4th position, Cofield in 5th. We're going to take you through your field. Jeff Wright, who has led the vast majority of the laps here tonight with 34 now. Adam Cabot just behind him. Actually, Cabot with the most laps led. He has 48. So kudos to the 17 team for proving me wrong. It doesn't happen very often. Write it down, but I am wrong from time to time.
But it's not going to be wrong for another. It's only going to be wrong for another 15 laps as the 48 racks him up. Alex Bell led some laps. He's led 5 today. He's gotten up into the top 3 and it's kind of sat there. That's 33 is threatening as wow, really loose on the bottom. That was Stephen McDonald giving away. Nope, Brandon Wallace. But yeah, that 15's fast. But the 33 Stavato might be a little bit faster. Fresher tires bring him up to the 15.
13 positions gained, started back in 17th position. Jonathan Cofield in the 58. He started 5th. He's running 5th. He's had a solid night tonight. Can't take anything away from the 58 team for putting it together here at Kansas. Ray Massey in 6th position. The field is 11 seconds ahead with Jeff Wright and 1.9 seconds to Jonathan Cofield. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, 7th spot. So how's that for a top 10? Making the best of it.
It's definitely up there and has gotten up there from 14th. So technically, from his point of view, he's gone through half his field. So he's up there and trying to see who's getting chased down by Eric Hutton, who's in 8th position. Falling back, was up to the top 5, fell back after a few bouts with the outside wall. Still solidly in 8th, not really gaining much on the 10, but solidly in the top 10, solidly in the top 8 over Michael Sturgill, who's fallen back. He was one of our early pitters in our second sequence of pit stops, and it has not worked out for him. He's fallen back after being in the top 5 himself. He's back to 9th. Now he's under fire from PJ O'Leary, who's kind of had a few bouts with the wall himself, but he's kept the nose clean and the right side of that 20 machine clean, and just hanging in the top 10, but trying to get that 9th position away as we see a battle heat up here.
This is for the 9th position. 20 car PJ O'Leary is going to drop all the way down to the bottom. Really tight off the exit of 2, but able to hold it down there. Really well done. Not like we saw between the leaders. There was a lot of room given there for the 9th spot. And that's kind of knowing your place on the track right now. There's no reason to get that close on the exit for the 9th position.
It's again a lot of room between the two. O'Leary, I think, is faster, but we're seeing that bottom line becoming more and more difficult to make the pass down there, as it's kind of getting not really pinched off, but he's still not able to exit as high as he wants to, and that's giving Sturgill a chance here to hold the 20 off maybe before pit stops. Look at the rear of that 90 wiggle off the corner as they still go side by side.
Side by side into 3, the 20 not giving any room there on the exit of 2, but it looks like the 90 just keeps getting loose off the exit, scrubbing that breakaway speed that he can have. 20 car now officially going to take that 9th position, probably going to run up in front on the exit of turn 2, but they're still side by side.
Sergio's giving it everything he's got through the center of 1 and 2. That right rear is going to be shredded by the end of this run, the way he's running it, but he's going to fight him off once again, as while we've been watching this, the battle for third kind of swapped hands. Travado's passed Alex Bell and pulled away on those fresher tires.
Now he has to chase down Adam Cabot, who is 1.7 seconds ahead of him. Cabot gets around the 03 of Noah Mikowski. Mikowski now 2 laps down. First car a lap down is Brandon Wallace in the 99. We don't have to get too far back here to find him. Wallace almost led a lap there. He elected to pit a little bit later than everybody else. He's gained 11 positions, though. Praying for the lucky dog so he can get a couple more.
He's going to need it soon, because Caleb Weekly is not too far away from getting lapped into 12th position. You can see him wiggling down the straightaway, probably low on tire life theirself, as Mark McFadden is just trying to fight back. He's had a rough one, 3 laps down. Kind of surprising. McFadden's shown speed this year. Look out, getting close, but 3 laps down, looking to go 4 down. Actually, he passed to get from 4 down back to 3 down, but it has not been the night that 71 wanted.
And it's another one of those strategy things where guys are pitting at different times, and it might throw yours completely out the window. I see McFadden in the situation where he's able to put together a solid race. I guess speed here is the only factor, and he can show it. We'll see him at a super speedway. I guarantee that 71 will be up front.
Yeah, Sturgill has pit from about that 8th, 9th position, so he said that 71 will be fast. He's just got to kind of put it all together, as we do have pit stop starting lap 101, so that's a little longer than we have seen these drivers go, which would be a 39-lap run to the end. So Leary, Ray Massey, Seth Hatchell came in. Those guys might, Taylor Butcher Benjamin as well, they'll have to stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, and that probably goes into what we were seeing with the clutching. These guys trying to save fuel. We'll see how long Jeff Wright and Auden Cabot are able to stay out after trying to save that fuel.
You know, one
might be able to make it to the end.
One other thing that might have played a part in it is how much cooler the track got, and just the lights come on, this track gets completely gripped up. The track temp might not have gone down that much, but you still get so much more grip when the track is just absolutely covered, with the moonlight and all that, and just creates a track where you're just completely on the throttle, even in these Gen 4 cars. So that could also have played a factor in the fuel consumption.
Yeah, and these guys on the throttle longer, on the bottom of the track longer. There's a lot of factors for distance traveled, but mainly the air resistance. And we just saw Jeff Wright. He was in the mix with 2 other drivers that are being scored a lap down right now. I believe that's the 13 of Caleb Weekly, who he just passed. But then 3 wide there. I think that was Brandon Wallace. I can't quite remember the car that was there.
Noah Mikowski, I believe, is the driver who passed him.
Okay, and now we've got the 63 and the 13 coming down pit road. So,
and Stravado, which is interesting. He was the guy going long, but he's gone short this time.
He's going to short pit. Maybe he sees something.
Oh, Cofield around. Oh, he slammed the inside wall on pit road. He hit it hard. coming into pit road. We'll get a replay here as the leader, Jeff Wright, just pit on his own. But look at Cofield. You can see that transition really got his car out of whack, and bam, slam that concrete barrier.
Cofield already had some right front damage. Now left front, a lot worse. The car has taken a beating here tonight.
So yeah, he's going to have a lot more damage to. That's going to be harder to deal with this time as he's out and away, and we'll try to recover from that. The leaders came in, Wright was in, Bell was in, Hutton coming off as well. Surprisingly, even with all his fuel saving he's done, Adam Cabot is going to keep going. He's gone another lap, as a matter of fact, and that's kind of surprising to me, but maybe it's a situation where he's banking on the 48 having to save on this run, and he's not going to have to do that.
Yeah, and he'll be able to run it wide open all that time that he gave up. He's about to make it back. Clutching it through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. Adam Cabot, your leader right now. He's got the rest of the field a lap down. Probably going to bring it in this time by. He's getting loose. That's another product of using the clutch. Car gets very unpredictable.
Especially in these Gen 4 cars, it's hard to use the clutch. So, still shocked he's going this long. But he's going to try to make it up with just the tire life he's going to have over the 48 and maybe not having to clutch. Look at how you could visibly see when he lets the clutch out and gets on the throttle. The whole car completely comes out from under him. See if we see it again here. Not quite as much of a motion, but he does stay out again. Nope, here he does. He is coming in.
He's coming in this time by down to pit road, locking it up a little bit, but he's going to get it in there. Pushed it to the absolute max. He's going to have a tire advantage over Jeff Wright. Can Jeff make it to the end? Is the fuel window going to be enough? I don't know. Cabot's not going to have to save either. Jeff might have to save a little bit. This is the time now for the 48 to figure it out.
Yes, Wright's going to have to go about 35 laps on his tank. In theory, that should be enough, but maybe he'll have to clutch and coast. The 33 was in a lap before that. Ray Massey, who Stravado's passing, was in 3 laps before the 33, so it's even more of a question mark with Ray Massey. Sturgill was in early as well. So a few question marks here to the end if this does go green, as Cabot's out and away, and it's going to have a lot of ground to make up.
Jeff Wright pulls about 11 seconds ahead. That's a lot of time. We know that it's about 4 laps difference here on tires, roughly. I don't think that's going to be enough.
I don't think it's going to be enough either. It was really, he came in 108, and the 48 came in 105, so it's really only 3 laps. That's going to be tough to make up.
Bravado up to second position. Ray Massey in third. Taylor Butcher Benjamin. These pit stops cycled out. The top 10 just completely flip-flop, minus Jeff Wright. It is turned on its head.
Yeah, a little bit, and that's really because Massey and Butcher Benjamin were one of the early pit stops. Butcher Benjamin came down lap 100 on the dot, so he'll have to go 40 laps to the end, which might be a tall task. PJ O'Leary was in the same boat as him, as Cabot's already looking to get by that 20 machine. As was that Sturgill in the wall? I think he tapped it. Wow, him and the 15 got really close there, but didn't really note Alex Bell fell back there. He pit 105 with the leader, so he's going to have some fresher tires than some of these guys as well.
You can see that off the exit of turn 2. Sturgill just trying to keep it up there, keep it out of the wall. He gets really loose. He had a couple other drivers. I think Seth Hatchell has since settled out. I think there's about a handful of guys that have already tagged that wall and don't want to do it again.
I think everyone's tagged it at least once. Even Cabot's hit it. Jeff Wright's hit it. I haven't seen Stravado hit it quite yet. Maybe we'll get there, but I haven't seen a 33 hit it yet. Oh, it's nowhere near over.
There's still plenty of opportunity. They have 113 laps complete out of 140. We're going to take you side by side one last time, then we'll have uninterrupted coverage for the remainder of this race here at Kansas Motor Speedway Saturday Night Racing League. Continuing coverage here on V-Speed right after this.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back here live at the Kansas Speedway. 118 laps completed out of 140 here tonight. Saturday Night Racing League has put on a great show. Jeff Wright has led the vast majority of the laps now officially with 56 in the book. And I can't fathom how anybody is going to have anything for him. We were just talking about that during the break. He is so far ahead of Adam Cabot right now, who does get around Ray Massey. It's going to be close, but I don't think there's enough time here.
Probably not. You see, he is closing in on the 33 very fast. On the same straightaway, really only separated by about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So the runner-up position's looking likely for the 17, but that was kind of hit the lowest I'd expect him to finish. And I know he's not going to be happy about it if we get to interview him, because still got a while to go. Anything can happen, but he was definitely looking for the win, and seems like he didn't really have much control over that.
On the green flag pit stops, we talked about the better exit there on the first set for the 17, able to pull away. Jeff Wright didn't have to save fuel, and that might have been a factor. You explained that the auto fuel is one of those boxes that can just ruin your day. I think that's kind of the scenario the 17 is in. He forgot to uncheck that box, and it auto fuels. It really set him back.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think he was going to run away with this himself if he didn't have that happen, because he had already opened up a second lead over the 48. Wright was going to have to pull strategy to do something, and all of a sudden, after that second set of stops, the 17 gives it all back, and lo and behold, we're here with 20 to go, coming to 19 to go. The 48's got a 9-second lead nearly over Stravato and Cabot. As you can see, he's not going to let that put him down. He's going to go for second here. You can see how much faster this 17 is compared to the Old Spice 33. This should be no contest.
Down to the bottom in 1 and 2 for the second position. Cabot's going to slide up the track a little bit, but get a huge run down the backstretch neck and neck. And as he goes into 3, it looks like Cabot's going to take over the second.
Got some pit stops. Taylor Butcher Benjamin's already thrown the white flag on fuel. He just pit, as did Seth Hatchell. So there's two guys who pit around lap 100. They know they can't make it to the end and have already thrown the white flag up.
And now the strategy portion, the experience of being in iRacing for so long, and some of the guys that didn't really factor that into this race tonight. Max Koss down pit road. He's going to have to make an extra stop. I think Jeff Wright and Adam Cabot, maybe even Stravato and Bell, can make it all the way to the end of this race, because we heard those guys clutching it, saving fuel, and doing the math.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of drivers a lap down if this plays out. Ray Massey also came in. PJ O'Leary came down. That's 3 or 4 or 5 guys who were in the top 10. So his order is going to be all.
Extra stop.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
It's going to be all jumbled up by the end of this if it goes green. Even if we get a yellow, it's going to put a lot of guys down a lap, and they're not going to have an opportunity to run for the potential top 5 or even win.
Caleb Weekly, the first car a lap down. He has the 15 of Alex Bell in 4th position right behind him. Next car and threat to go a lap down. That's Jonathan Cofield, who hit the inside pit wall, trying to square the front end of that car back up. I think he overdid it just a little bit.
Yeah, I think he definitely overdid it a little bit, as really looking like he was going to get a top 5, even with the right front damage. He was looking solid, but if he can make it on fuel, that'll solve all his problems. He pit lap 104, only a lap before Wright, so he could be good to the end. and it seems like he has slowed down his pace. I think he is clutching to try to make this, but I still think even with his damage at this point, clutching and coasting to the end is going to garner you a better stop, as Jeff Wright is going to come up to lap him, but at this point, that's not the point, as 48 has had internet issues. I'm just hoping that sorts itself out, but 17's not closing in quite enough.
Well, at least his smoke detectors work properly, so even with the connection issue, the 48 Jeff Wright doesn't have a loud blaring noise setting off alarms in his head.
No, I don't think that.
That'll get you.
I don't think that would distract him anyways. No, him. He's too calm, cool, collected. He'll drive through the fire as there it goes again. Gap is down to 7 seconds, but coming this time to 13 laps to go, going to take a lot more.
Cabot in second spot. AJ Stravado looking like he probably is going to pull off this podium finish. Alex Bell is 5.2 seconds back. Caution's not out of the question. We still have plenty of time for that. I want to ask the chat right now, and Connor, you'll pay really close attention to this. How many of these guys out here are wishing for a caution just to give Jeff Wright a huge run for his money?
I'd say right now everyone's 2nd through 8th, which means everyone on the lead lap, not Jeff Wright, and Caleb Weekly, who's positioned in the lucky dog position. I don't know if anyone else that's a lap down wants to yellow, because kind of puts you on the back end anyways, not fresh tires. So a lot of drivers' races kind of went out the window when they couldn't make it on fuel with only 3 stops. So it's going to be a tough one. Caleb Weekly needs his yellow quick, because Cofield is really Cofield is not getting caught, but eventually I think that 48 would get to him. So if anyone's begging for one, it's Caleb Weekly.
Interesting statistics, and we didn't put up a poll, but I think the final verdict is everybody from 2nd to 7th position, 8th position rather. Yeah, I can agree with that logic, because Caleb is a top 10 driver and finds himself a lap down. He can't race anyone around him right now.
Yeah, Cofield's up probably half a lap ahead, and he's hoping for it soon, because Taylor Butcher-Benjamin on fresh tires is closing in very, very fast. So the 10 is definitely going to get that position, I think. And then after that, Ray Massey comes. Is looking for that yellow pretty quickly, as those two, 9th and 10th, are catching the 13 very fast.
And it's a situation that the caution doesn't fly at all. What do we shape up here for Adam Cabot? 6.5 seconds behind. We talked about it, but we got less than 10 to go. Is that enough time?
He's going to need over half a second per lap. He's going to need like 6-7 tenths per lap at this point, and he's not doing that quite consistently. He was only 2 tenths faster last time by. The only thing that could save him is Jeff Wright's internet going down the drain. It hasn't looked good the last 10 laps, but it's holding on just enough. It's not the...
We blinked out there for a second on board with the 48, and blink again.
Yeah, it's not a fight against the track. It's a fight against his internet provider for these last 8 laps. There goes Cabot, well clear over Stravado. You can see Stravado way back there.
Still a solid day here for the 33. That win at Martinsville, I think, really helped break the ice. The clutching, it's getting real. 27 laps, 32 for Michael Sturgill. I don't think that Sturgill's going to make it.
Yeah, I'm doubting that as well, but he's not even clutching and coasting really, so I find it hard to believe he's going to make it. Stravado is doing it now. I haven't heard Jeff Wright do it. I don't believe. And obviously Cabot should be good because of how long he went.
Down the backstretch for Taylor Butcher-Benjamin, looking like he's going to bring it home in the top 10 here tonight. He would be the 3rd car a lap down. We talked about a car in the wall just now. Not sure who that was, but with a little brush of the wall. It's been kind of like an action-packed race that Jeff Wright just ran away with it again.
Yeah, it was really close the first 2 runs. The first half of this race, everyone was on top of one another, really. The whole top 10 was there, and then things just got spaced out, whether it was pit road penalties, fuel strategy, tire strategy. just hitting a wall too many times. It was really kind of widened itself out. You can see we only have 5 drivers left on the lead lap. Eric Hutton is in 5th place, and that's it. He's 20 seconds behind Wright and hanging on to the last position on the lead lap, as is Jonathan Cofield at this point after he did get lapped by the 48.
And with these strategies of clutching it and trying to stay out, that will happen because a lot of these guys didn't do that math. That wasn't even an equation that was possible. At the start of this race, you don't really know what circumstances you're going to be in. Are you going to be up front the whole time like Jeff Wright and have to clutch it? Or are you going to be stuck in the draft and kind of benefit and leech off the guy in front of you to keep the fuel topped off? 88 of Eric Hutton will be the last car on the lead lap. Alex Bell, your pole sitter, he has fallen back to 4th. And then it's AJ Stravato, Adam Cabot, and Jeff Wright bringing the top 10 up there on your ticker right now. +1, +1, +1. That means a lap down for those of you that are new to our overlays.
Another strong run through the field from Stravato as well. He started 16th at Martinsville. He got all the way up to the front to win that race, and he starts 17th today. And he's gotten himself into a top 3 position with really, he was one of the early pitters, but doesn't seem like Alex Bell is going to be able to get to the 33 in time to challenge for that position, as Bell almost scraped the wall. But he's getting close, but I think good strategy by Stravato to get the track position for this final run. Granted, he can make it on fuel, excuse me.
It's okay. 3 laps to go as they come off of turn 2. And yeah, great call. I agree with it 100%. Your pick, Adam Cabot, just whether it was auto fuel or a million other factors that could go in the iRacing service, nonetheless, a solid top 3 effort for the 17 team. Excuse me, and AJ Stravato after that week at Martinsville. I'm excited to see what he can do at some more short tracks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. We kind of go to one at New Hampshire next week, and then Richmond, which is undoubtedly a short track. So should be a fun few weeks for some of these guys who really cherish these short tracks, and they cherish getting physical, especially.
Off of turn 4 for the final time. Actually, the second to last time. Jeff Wright's going to take the white flag this time around. Riding on board. Let's make it loud one more time for Jeff Wright as he goes around this track for maybe his 5th win this season.
All clear, no issues there. Cabot's closed at the 5 seconds, but it's not gonna be enough. Nowhere close. That's the top 5. Still, the last of the drivers on the lead lap is all clear. Wright will ride behind Stephen McDonald one last time.
Off of turn 4 the final time. This time around, across the line to win here for the 5th time. Saturday Night Racing Series. Saturday Night Racing League, rather. Get it done at Kansas Speedway. Jeff Wright, your winner here tonight.
Incredible stuff, as incredible battles to the line in the background as Seth Hatchell ends up 10th. Bell finishes 4th. Stravato holds on to 3rd. And Bell and Hutton the top 5. Probably, I would assume that is definitely a record for least drivers on the lead lap to finish a Saturday Night Racing League race so far, as number of the drivers laps down across the line, as does Stephen McDonald in 14th. But what a drive. Once again, can't say it enough. This 48 car is going to be tough to beat. He's darn close to unbeatable this season.
Especially at those 1.5 miles where it just all comes together for him. 48 team getting it done here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Post-race interviews with your top 3. We're going to go down to Victory Lane with Jeff Wright, Adam Cabot, and AJ Stravato. Hold tight right after this.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Saturday Night Racing League back here at Kansas Speedway, live on V-Speed. 140 laps and 210 miles. Go to this guy, Jeff Wright. He led the most laps. He battled a hard battle with Adam Cabot all race long. The strategies, the saving of the fuel. AJ Stravato also in that mix. And we had a little blink out there. Some connection issues for the 48. He had to battle that as well. But catching up with our drivers down on pit road. I forgot the order that we were going for.
Got Stravato for you. You were going for Stravato. I'm running towards Cabot.
Stravato. I'm on my golf cart right
You,
now.
you weren't running the wrong way. You weren't running the wrong way, did you?
No, I would never do that. Wasted energy.
That wasted energy. I would call
AJ
it wasted
Stravato. It is a waste of energy to run the wrong way, but we caught up with him down on pit road. He was just about to get into the hauler and leave, pack up and go. AJ, after the win at Martinsville, you put together another podium finish. It seems like the season's starting to come back together for you.
Yeah, we're having a pretty good run. I just wish we could qualify a little bit better so we could actually not have to drive through the field and compete for the win. Rather, Jeff B, check the hell out. But yeah, it was a good run. Can't complain about finishing third. Just that was pretty cool how running different lines at the start of the race really dictated how much fuel you'd have throughout the entire race. That was pretty cool to be a part of. So glad we were able to pay it pretty well there and get a P3.
Yeah, we talked about the different strategies and guys clutching it, and you became part of that. Was that ever thought about pre-race? It seemed like guys could just kind of factor that in on the fly. And Adam Cabot was one of the biggest loser for all that because he lost so much time trying to clutch it. You worked your way through the field and took advantage of a lot of the guys that were trying to do it.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be a factor at all. Kind of when I saw it at the end of the first run, I always try to stay out as long as I can. If it's going to be a long, drawn-out race like this, I like to kind of be on the attack on the second run, which didn't run a good second run. But yeah, it was just kind of figuring out on the fly. I don't know why Adam saved so much fuel. He was battling Jeff for the win. I mean, I was passing him and by him at one point. He saved so much, but I'm not gonna tell Adam how to run his race. He's generally battling me or a little bit quicker. So, but yeah, just kind of took it on the fly and battled the shitty qualifying effort pretty much, and was fun driving through the field though.
Yeah, biggest mover of the race, 14 positions gained, and you come home in third spot. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out, AJ, while we got you up here in the booth?
Yeah, just Jeff, Reggie, Brian, and all the guys who run the league. It's a fun, clean league, and definitely keeps me in oval shape. Haven't run too much this year. All the Nexus C Sports teammates doing the Firecracker 400 and doing well in Road to Pro, and everybody who makes this league happen, and all my teammates.
We appreciate your time, AJ, and I ran the correct direction finally down pit road. I want to thank you for that. Hey, take care, man, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth next week.
Yes, sir. Hopefully 2 spots ahead in P1.
There you go. That's the spirit. Third place finisher here tonight, AJ Stravato at Kansas. Down the pit road, we have Adam Cabot now catching up. Connor Horn's running in the opposite direction of me. These guys, where do they park their haulers? It seems like there's no organization. Pit road's organized.
Well, Cabot parked his hauler near the exit because he's got to go to Daytona Beach for a race tomorrow, and I have to help him with that. So he's going to get this out of the way early. But in reality, Cabot, Adam, I don't know why I said it that way, but you finished second tonight. led 52 laps, looking like you were going to dominate tonight and potentially run away from the 48, which we haven't seen anyone do at these mile and a halves. But after that second pit stop, it seemed like it all went wrong. Couldn't tell if it was maybe an auto fuel error, but we saw fuel strategy come into play late. What was the cause of that on that third run?
Yeah, I had a lot of damage slowing me down, but unfortunately it was brain damage. I just saved way too much fuel. But before we get into that, did you say the race is tomorrow?
I thought it was. Is it next week?
No, I think it's I think it's Monday. I hope it's Monday.
Oh boy.
Oh, tomorrow's
Anyway.
Sunday. That's right.
Okay.
Keep forgetting we're Saturday night, not Sunday night. But yes, I'm pretty sure it's Monday.
Okay, you scared me there for a second.
Sorry.
Anyway, all right, so back to tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate fuel mileage races. I really, really dislike them. And tonight's kind of a perfect example as to why, because I just overthought it and I tried to big brain it and do all my saving the second to last run instead of the last run. Because I looked down while I was battling Jeff, which, by the way, was just so much fun. Jeff and I feel like just always put on incredible battles, especially tracks like this, mile and a halfs, high horsepower cars. So I can't wait to go back and watch some of that battle. But then I looked down at the fuel and saw that we weren't going to be able to make it to the end, and became extremely disappointed because I knew that was the end of our battle there. It became a fuel mileage race, and I just saved 2 more laps than I needed to. I think what happened was the fuel calculator earlier in the race, since we were running the high lane a little bit more, they kind of threw off my fuel mileage numbers. So. But trying to back it up and do all my saving that second to last run, I just saved 2 more laps than I needed to, which is a shame because if I came down 2 laps earlier to make that last stop, I mean, it would be neck and neck right at the end there. So I finished 4.6 seconds behind Jeff. So if I stopped 2 laps earlier, I would have been right there. So, good job to him on getting that saving right. I feel like that's probably where my lack of seat time in the sim kind of catches up to me is procedural stuff like that, saving fuel and trying to get all those numbers right. I finally turned off my auto fuel today in the innie, so that's progress. I didn't have that screw me over tonight. That was just all on me. So auto fuel or manual fuel, either way, I hate fuel mileage races, but congrats to Jeff.
Yeah, math is hard when you're the driver and the crew chief. I was thinking it was a auto fuel, but you had it off on the innie, so that wasn't the case. So obviously fuel became an issue for you, but before that, the first half of this race, it was you and Jeff Wright, a dogfight. You said how already talked about how fun that battle was, but it was fun from up here too. Take us through what it was like battling him all that time, running different lines. It looked like it was a blast.
So it's funny because I just went back and rewatched an old ORL race from like 2019 where it was Las Vegas, and Jeff and I just had this amazing race, and it's always been like in my top 3 of races that I think back on. And the first part of this race, I was like, holy crap, this is basically, we're just reenacting that race from 3 years ago, because we were all over the track, sliding all over, pulling slide jobs, just using up every inch. But like Jeff and I always do, we managed to not wreck each other, managed to keep it clean. And the funniest thing was, like, I don't have a lot of experience in the Gen 4 cars, and it just didn't feel like any of the laps were clean or well put together. I mean, I'd be in the throttle, out of the throttle, just kind of like not in any sort of rhythm. And then, we're side by side all these laps, and I look back and I'm like, wow, we're actually somehow gapping the field while doing this. So that was a lot of fun. That was really neat. And I really wish that for my sake and for entertainment purposes that this race didn't come down to fuel mileage, because I think that we would have, I mean, first of all, I think I might have been a little bit quicker than him on the long run, but even if not, it would have been a very entertaining race. So, yeah, a lot of fun, and I'll definitely have to be back for more of these, especially the mile and a halves.
Yeah, we'll definitely see it at the mile and a half. So I was about to say it was going to remind me of an Oro race from an auto club that turned into a fuel mileage race. But
that was in the back of my head too.
yeah. Just making sure you remember.
Oh,
but
that's not one I'll forget. That's for sure.
But this was a fun race. Obviously not what you wanted, but still a runner-up finish, leading 52 laps. Anyone you want to thank, Adam?
Yeah, I'll thank Jeff J. Wright for putting on this league here. I feel like he's done a great job getting this started. First season for Saturday Night Racing, and I know it's only my second race here, but yeah, so thanks to him for putting on the league, and then also thanks to him for being a lot of fun to race against.
Yeah, definitely looked a lot of fun from here. Adam Cabot, runner-up to Jeff Wright tonight. Great run for you. I will see you probably Monday, maybe tomorrow, but we race Monday.
All right. See you guys. Thanks.
Good night. Have a good one.
Second place finisher, Adam Cabot, and we don't know what day of the week it is. It could be Sunday Night Racing League. It's definitely Saturday Night Racing League. Connor, great interview though, and Adam, he explained it right there. It can literally come down to mental mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of surprised. Like I keep saying it, but we thought that might have been a calculation error, an automatic one, but it was just him kind of just miscalculating how much he needed to save and just too conservative. And I kind of figured that was the case because he gave up 5 seconds to the 48, who eventually won by 5 seconds. So definitely makes the difference there.
Well, he's no stranger to it, but we're caught up with him down here, and I'm going to name it. I'm going to dub it right now, right in front of him.
Cobalt Tools Victory Lane.
I'm going to call it V-Speed Victory Lane. Even though we put our name on it, Jeff Wright, you still own it. You've owned it all season long, and this is race number 5 in the books for you. Congratulations on your win and running out of fuel during your victory celebration.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Obviously, that was a really fun race. We had a lot of fast guys in here tonight. Super competitive field. Adam Cabot was, I was worried about him. I thought he was playing a different field strategy, and I thought he was probably going to outsmart me and probably pass me with like 5 to go and win the race. But I guess he had had an issue with his fuel calculator, and it was, I guess, giving him some wrong information. So I hate that for Adam, that kind of took him a little bit out of the contention there for the win. But yeah, all in all, super fun race. Kansas isn't really usually a place I like, but I like it in this car. This car just was a blast to drive tonight. It was, slippery. It was sliding all over the place, and I think it made for a good show. I hope you guys up in the booth had a good time watching that, because it was a blast to drive.
Yeah, it was an excellent show, especially that first stint that you guys put on out there. We talk about how close these races can come down to the wire, and the fuel strategies, the math that you have to do. It goes to say, without saying, it takes a lot of talent to perform here on the iRacing service, and then even more to be on top in this league.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know how many times I've finished second place to Adam Cabot. So we've had so many good battles just over the years, and throughout several different leagues. And we had another one, not only tonight but just a few weeks ago in the season finale in Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. So it's always so fun to battle Adam. He's one of the best in all of iRacing, and I really mean that. Like, this guy can get in any car, doesn't matter what it is on the service, and hop in and be competitive enough to go win the race. Like, he's got a lot of talent. Not a lot of people can do that. So anytime you can beat Adam Cabot, it feels great. Even though he had, a little bit of trouble, like I said, with his calculator. But yeah, we had to work really hard for this one. We're sweating after that one. We're working the wheel back and forth. And, Adam's also one of those guys where, I think he and I, since we've raced so much together, I think we have a lot of trust in each other, that we can race each other super tight and, have confidence that, we're not going to crash, or at least try not to crash. I think we almost did a few times. But so, when you're racing a guy like Adam, where you can, push it to the max and, pull those type of slide jobs that, sometimes might go wrong, and know that, he's going to keep it clean, give you the benefit of the doubt, but, race you as hard as he can. It's just a lot of fun. So this one means a lot, especially being Kansas. It's actually one of my, it is my home racetrack, I guess you say. I'm not from the Kansas City area, but it's the closest track to me. So to get a win here, it's definitely awesome.
So I want to dial it down a notch and take you to our pre-race interview with Lon and Reese Davis. They have one question, and I had nothing to do with it at all, Jeff. I promise you. They want to know when you're going to get tested for steroids, so I had to ask that.
Oh, steroids, or maybe some trickery with the crew chief. I don't know, but
Post-race inspection, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, hopefully it gets there. I didn't have enough fuel to back it in the wall, so like I usually like to do here in the burnouts, as you've probably seen a few times. But yeah, really happy that those guys are helping out our league, and contributing to let us do these things. It's a home race for those guys, walking and rolling from the Kansas City area. So this was a really cool event for them. Don't have them on the car, but I think I might need to get one of those logos on the car here for the 48 team. But yeah, Kansas Speedway, it's nice to get one of these, because I don't think I've ever won here in a league before. So and typically hasn't been one of my greatest tracks. If I drive this car in the B car or A car. I struggled a lot, but for whatever reason, with this car being a little bit more on edge and maybe a little bit more drivable, it, kind of went into my my driving style a little bit. So it was a lot of fun, and we had the track position too. So clean air is obviously important. Adam Cabot, he pulled out to I think like a 1.5 lead on me, and I started driving it as hard as I could because I thought if I just settled in there and tried to follow him. Adam's one of those guys, he'll gap you. And so I pushed it as hard as I could. And, thankfully he had the issue. Otherwise, could have been a very different result. Wouldn't have been surprised at all to see Adam Cabot win.
Well, congratulations on the victory. Don't sell yourself short. 5-time winner here in Saturday Night Racing League, Jeff Wright. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight's victory at Kansas?
Yeah, thanks all the sponsors, Walking and Rolling, for those guys. Like I said, being a home event for these guys. Harpoon Design and Tractor USA. Obviously, you guys up in the booth each and every week. You guys do a great job. A little less cautions this week, so hopefully it was a little bit more enjoyable for you guys up there. So that's always good. I think, we only had one, on the initial start. So I guess not too bad for caution's sake. And just the other co-league admins, that help out with everything. We can't, do this without, all the support from the sponsors, everybody showing up every Saturday night, and as well as a really good broadcast team, and then a lot of dedicated league admins to help make these things happen. So Chad Klinger, Brian Chambliss, Reggie Ortega, who's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Reggie. Not here tonight celebrating with his family. He'll be back next week. And just thankful for everybody contributing to help make these events possible.
Oh, we're burning it down with you on the front straight away, and you did an excellent job. You've been rehearsing those post-race interviews. I love it. Thank you for your time, Jeff, and most likely, based off of a statistical standpoint, we look forward to having you back up here in the broadcast booth next week.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Race winner, Jeff Wright. He led 79 laps, but most importantly, he leads the last one. Connor Horn, we're going to take you through your final finishing order. It was a good one. AJ Servato turning his season around. Adam Cabot for his, second appearance here in the league? He's going to bring it home in second, and then Jeff Wright, your winner. Alex Bell, your pole sitter, gets in 4th position. Eric Hutton in 5th. Jonathan Cofield, 6th position. Ray Massey, a fan favorite out here tonight for the home track advantage. Going to bring it home in 7th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, 8th spot. PJ O'Leary in the 20. I believe the best finish here for the 20 team is going to bring it home 9th, and then Seth Hatchell rounding out your top 10.
And if you notice, no, that's not a glitch. Half the top 10 a lap down. That is how insane the pace of Jeff Wright and even Adam Cabot was tonight. Only not lapping the top 5 as Cofield, Massey, Butcher Benjamin in that top 10. Caleb Weekly was one of those guys who made it on a one less stop than some guys who finished ahead of him. He got 11th out of it, so it works out for him. We didn't talk about Brandon Wallace a lot tonight. He got all the way up from 25th to the 12th place position. Great run for him. Noah Mikowski went joyriding Bo Duke style through the grass, finished his 13th position. Steve McDonald 14th. Tim Downey had a rough one, but he did end up finishing 15th. Justin McWhorter was looking to climb through the field after his EOL to begin the race after a Martinsville infraction, but after a pit road penalty, he only recovered for 16th. Michael Sturgill, I believe he ran out of fuel. We didn't really note that until now, but he was short on fuel. It looked like it cost him a lot, finishing 17th. Max Cost 18th. Didn't talk about him tonight either. He had a rough one. Mark McFadden was one of those guys who was rough on strategy tonight. He finished his 19th, and really the last driver to finish tonight was Mark McFadden. As Clifton Cockrell didn't really note him go off track, but he finished his 20th position.
Moving on through the field here, we've got the 09 of Chad Klinger, who elects to bring it behind the wall. Clifton Cockrell, you said, was in the 40. He had some hardship there on pit road and the slide through the grass, but still able to kind of recover from that and finish the race. Nick Starling in the 22nd position, caught up in that wreck on lap number 1. Lucas Lyons in the 23rd spot, and Chuck Sweeting. All these drivers, Brian Fletcher, I believe, also as well, was caught up in that lap 1 caution. So final results there on your screen. We move on to calculating the points and factoring in this season's getting tighter and tighter. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here on B-Speed, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race here for Saturday Night Racing League as we bring you the remainder of the season. For everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Connor Horn, and myself, Bradley Cooper, we thank you for watching tonight's broadcast and presentation of the Saturday Night Racing League on V-Speed. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, everybody.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
This race still very undecided.
The bottom lane just doesn't have enough cars now. The rules have been reversed.
They're running out of time and they know it.
How about Noah McCluskey in the 03? He did his hand in this battle. The bottom surges to the inside. Now pulls even with help off the turn number 2.
900 horsepower at their feet.
Banks doesn't have a